Elderly drivers can feel quite defensive about their driving performance and certainly any criticism of it. And for example, I was very surprised recently when I took a car journey with my father, who I hadn't been in the car with for about 10 years. And his car driving style and performance had changed completely, to the point at which he was actually driving much faster, much more aggressively, much more assertively than he would have done before. And I think that was very much to prove that he could still do it to me. It was unreasonable behaviour in a sense. It was very, very surprising. Totally out of character for him. But that was really almost a defensive mechanism on his part. He didn't want to admit that it was becoming more difficult for him. So he was actually driving much more aggressively than he would have done in the past. Very surprising, to the point at which it was totally inappropriate. And we had to talk about it and try and talk about it reasonably. And I think I handled it quite badly in many ways. I made a bit of a joke out of it. I voiced my surprise. And I probably made my father feel even more defensive about his driving. I think, with the absolute benefit of hindsight, I should have let it go at the time and come back to approaching the subject when I'd thought through a proper approach to how we were going to engage and discuss the problem more constructively. I certainly didn't do it properly the first time round. I think in a perfect world you can only have this discussion if you've experienced it yourself. But by it I mean giving up the car for a while and actually exploring what are the options that this person's going to have. And that can really help if you're having a discussion with an elderly person about the bus service. Well, what is the bus service? Have you got the timetable in front of you? Do you know what the fare is for the time taken to get to somewhere? Do you know the availability of taxis, how much they cost and so on? Do you know the options through the volunteer service of a local church and so on? To actually have some facts and figures in front of you before starting this discussion. Also, think through practically with the other person what journeys they really do need to make and which ones don't need to be made all the time, and how you can help them in that process of making that transition. But try and make the transition smooth, not abrupt. I think that's the key to having this success many times.